Hey there, SCT friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's Megan Andrew with you, and I am so excited to be sharing this card that I created with one of our latest sketches from the fall-winter issue. Now, this is the sketch that I'm creating with, and all of our beautiful sketches are created by Allison Davis. I love this beautiful curve on the sketch. I also love the way that she shares how to create the card that she's laid out for you too. Now, I have a different kind of idea to use with this sketch for a birthday card using the latest club kits from Spellbinders. Now I've grabbed a piece of SCT exclusive 100-pound cardstock sized at 11 inches long by 5.5 inches high. Now I'm going to be creating a fun gatefold card with that design that Allison laid out, and I'm scoring at 3 inches and then again at 7.25 because I want that middle panel to be 4.25 so that my card overall is an A2 size when complete. That is 4.25 by 5.5. So I'm just folding on my score lines to create that gatefold card. Next, I'm grabbing a piece of Spellbinders cardstock, and what I'm doing first is putting down some temporary adhesive from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. My blue cardstock from Spellbinders is sized at 5.5 inches tall, and I've made it quite a bit longer because what I'm going to do is cut that curved design out from both my base layer and the blue cardstock. Now I'm using a die set from Concord and Ninth that has this nice sloped hill, and that hill is what I'm going to use to create that curved effect. So I'm just laying out my card on my grid. I know that my white cardstock is 3 inches, so I want to make sure that I keep that die cut within the 3 inches from the edge. And I'm going to use some tape from Spellbinders, the best ever crafty tape, to tape that down. Now it's time for me to break out my Platinum 6, and I'm setting up my sandwich with that special holiday edition magic mat, which I love having on my desk during the holiday season. I'm only going to crank it just as far as the die and then go backwards because I don't want to make unnecessary marks. But it has gone through both layers of that nice thick cardstock perfectly, which is fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and take off my tape and take out my die. So here is my gatefold on the left. Now on the right, I'm folding over that piece of cardstock, and I also want it to have that nice curve, but I want it to match the curve on the other gate. So I'm carefully placing my die down and kind of putting it alongside the curve of the first gate, but I'm placing it about 1/2 inch away from the first one. So once I have that in place, I'm going to go ahead and put my best ever craft tape on there and run that through my Platinum 6 as well. So now what I have, once I take off my tape, is that gatefold with that gorgeous curvature on both sides. How fun is that? It's kind of like a yin and yang sort of look there, but I love it. However, I do want my blue cardstock to have a bit of texture added to it. So I use temporary adhesive. I'm just pulling that off gently from my card base, and I'm going to grab the embossing folder of the month for November 2024 from Spellbinders. And this is an entire background of streamers. So it really has that curly streamer effect on the background. Now, to make this look even more special, I'm going to put some pigment ink, white pigment ink from Gina K Designs on the top of my embossing folder. This is going to lighten the background and help those streamers that are embossed to stick out even more, just for a bit more contrast than you would normally find by just running the folder onto the cardstock. I'm going to run my embossing folder through my Platinum 6, and I always love the reveal when I emboss a design. I just think it's fantastic each and every time, and embossing is a technique that I really love. See here how the background is a little bit lighter than those streamers? So that's the effect that I wanted. Now I can get that adhered back to my card with permanent adhesive. So there is that really fun card base with the embossed panel on the left, and I love the way that turned out. The next product I'm using is the November Small Die of the Month by Spellbinders, and I love these fun critters with balloons. They're so cute for birthday cards. I already have the pieces die cut, but I forgot to die cut the little pink rosy cheeks for my sloth, so I'm going to go ahead and do that with this light pink cardstock from Spellbinders, and then I will have all of my pieces together. I want this cute little sloth to be the main feature of the card front, so I'm going to go ahead and put him together. I am placing this black panel behind his eyes and nose, and I love how Spellbinders always thinks of this, and they always have additional pieces on their dies that will make these sort of things easy for you. So instead of inlaying their eyes or having to cut your own panel, they have a die for you. Then I can place his face, which is a little bit lighter in that cream color, on top. Next, I'm using my Artiste craft glue from scrapbook.com to add those pink rosy cheeks that I cut earlier with my Scout. I also love that Spellbinders always thinks of these little details too. Isn't he just the cutest? To keep my card base together so that I can create my card front, I'm using temporary adhesive again from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. I use it for lots of different things, and holding a card together is great. Before I go ahead and adhere my die cuts, it's important for me to stamp first. So I'm stamping my sentiment on the white area to the right of that gatefold, and just placing my stamp there while I grab my MISTI. My stamp is primed, and I'm using Midnight from Concord and Ninth, which is a really dark blue, to stamp my sentiment. And this one says, "May your birthday be as delightful as you." And I think it's going to be the perfect sentiment for this card. Before I decide where to place my sloth, I'm going to go ahead and adhere the balloon bunch to the top of his head so that I know how much headroom to give him. So I'm just adhering those balloon strings here, and there's a nice big space on the back to adhere his head to that, and then I can get my balloons put on. Now, since I have a blue background, I wanted all my balloons to be warmer hues. So I've chosen a light orange, a kind of crimson, and a salmon pink. And this is definitely a place where reverse tweezers come in handy, and I'm using these from scrapbook.com. How cute is that? So now I just need to figure out where to place him, but just like the sketch shows, get a curve of balloons down that edge of my gatefold. So I'm just placing my balloons to see if I like my sloth to be that close to the edge. And really, I think he needs to be a bit more to the center of that gatefold so that my balloons can really stand out on that edge. I always love being able to lay out a card design before I commit, and these balloons are going to look so awesome along the edge. So now it's just time for me to glue those down, then I can make a final decision on my sloth. And once I have that decided, I'm using some 1mm foam adhesive from scrapbook.com to adhere my cute little sloth to my card front. The final thing that I added to finish off this card were just a few sequins trailing around my cute little sloth, floating through the sky with that column of balloons. What a fun card! I am so glad that I started with this lovely sketch from our fall-winter issue. I don't think I would have come up with this design on my own had I not had the sketch for help. And the beautiful club kits from Spellbinders just made this card what it is. It's so fun and lively and just downright cute. Perfect for any birthday boy or girl. I hope you enjoyed today's card video. Be sure to click on the link in the video description to go to the blog post to find all of the products that I used to create this card. We'd love it if you'd hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any more of our videos. I'm Meghann Andrew, and happy creating, friends.